Scene script. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath our feet? Today, we delve into a shocking revelation from a brutal ancient battle that has stunned researchers. Imagine a serene river valley in northern Germany, suddenly revealing a horrifying secret from over 3,000 years ago. Thousands of skeletal parts, scattered and buried, each telling a tale of a gruesome conflict that took place during the Bronze Age. It's a discovery that has left archaeologists reeling, shattering their long-held belief that this era in Northern Europe was marked by peace and trade. Instead, they are now faced with evidence of a bloody and brutal clash, previously unknown to history. Among these skeletal remains, a skull, marred with a hole as big as a golf ball, stands out. This young man, who met his untimely end in this river valley around 3,200 years ago, suffered a horrific blow to the skull, likely from a club, that caused his instant death. A chilling testament to the violence of the conflict. This river valley, located about 15 kilometers north of Schwerin in the northern German state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, has become a massive storage of evidence of this mysterious ancient clash. Shelves and tables lined with at least 70 skulls and countless ribs, femurs, and vertebrae bear silent witness to the carnage that took place. Around 12,000 bones have been recovered, many bearing the telltale signs of violent conflict. A rib, for instance, is marked with a clear notch near the middle, a wound likely inflicted by a knife during the battle. These bones, remnants of an unknown battle that took place on the banks of the Tollense River around 1250 BC, paint a gruesome picture. Two large groups of men, perhaps several thousand, clashed in a horrifying orgy of violence. Bodies were pierced by arrows, bones were torn apart by spears, and skulls were crushed by wooden clubs. This unexpected find has not only shocked researchers but has also opened a new chapter in our understanding of the Bronze Age. What story do these bones tell us? Let's explore the grim evidence of an ancient battlefield. The bones unearthed from the river valley of Tollense display a variety of chilling injuries that attest to a fierce and violent battle. One such example is a skull that bears a hole the size of a golf ball, a grim testament to a fatal blow that would have resulted in instant death. This wasn't the result of an accident or a duel, this was war. Imagine, if you will, a young man in his prime standing on the battlefield. He is suddenly struck by a club with such force that it leaves a gaping hole in his frontal bone, just about 2 inches above his left eyebrow. The brutality of such a blow is staggering, but this skull is just one among thousands of bone fragments that bear similar signs of violent conflict. A rib bone, for example, exhibits a clear notch near its middle, a silent witness to a fatal stab wound inflicted in the heat of battle. Each bone, each mark, each fracture tells a tale of a battle that was waged with ruthless ferocity. These bones are not the only testament to the violent nature of this conflict. The recovery of weapons from the site further corroborates the story of a large-scale battle. Flint, wood, and bronze. These were the materials that fashioned the weapons of war in the Bronze Age. Arrows that pierced bodies, spears that shattered bones, and clubs that crushed skulls. These were the tools of destruction employed in this ancient conflict. The sheer number of bones discovered, estimated at around 12,000, suggests that this was not a skirmish or a raid, but a full-scale battle, possibly involving several thousand warriors. This is a scale of conflict that was previously unheard of for this era and region. The violence and scale of this battle challenge our previous understanding of the Bronze Age, painting a picture of a brutal conflict. Now, let's unravel the mystery of this forgotten battlefield. Situated by the tranquil Tollense River 15 kilometers north of the city of Schwerin in the northern German state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, this land bears the silent testimony of a brutal clash that took place around 3,200 years ago. The aftermath was a sight of absolute horror, with several hundred corpses strewn along the riverbank, left to the mercy of time and nature. As the years rolled by, the wet, sinking earth swallowed not only the dead, but also the memory of this brutal battle, erasing all traces of the violence that had occurred. This battlefield by the Tollense River is no ordinary archaeological site. The sheer scale of violence and the number of warriors involved make it unique. It stands as the earliest archaeological evidence of large-scale organized combat, not only in Northern Europe, but in the entire world. This discovery took the researchers by storm and forced them to rethink their understanding of the Bronze Age north of the Alps. The magnitude of the battle and the ferocity of the combatants came to light when thousands of bones were unearthed, bearing the horrifying marks of flint, wood, and bronze weapons. The sheer number of skeletal remains suggests a battle of an unprecedented scale, involving several thousand men. The discovery of this forgotten battlefield sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. It challenged the long-held belief that the Bronze Age was a period of peace and trade in Northern Europe. The evidence unearthed at Tollense paints a starkly different picture, one of organized violence and large-scale warfare. The Tollense Battlefield, buried and forgotten for centuries, has now emerged to rewrite our understanding of human history. With the pieces of the puzzle coming together, let's reconstruct this ancient conflict. The sheer quantity of skeletal remains and weapons unearthed has allowed researchers to approximate the scale of the battle that took place along the Tollense River more than 3,000 years ago. It's believed that several thousand men clashed in this area, their hands wielding a range of weapons that now lie as silent witnesses to their violent encounter. The weapons tell a story of their own, a narrative of combat that was both varied and brutal. Bronze and flint arrowheads were found in abundance, suggesting that archery played a significant role in the conflict. These were not the only weapons of choice, however. The archaeologists also discovered daggers, spearheads, axe heads, and swords, attesting to a combat style that was up close and personal. And let's not forget the wooden clubs, primitive yet deadly in their simplicity, capable of crushing a skull with a single, well-aimed blow. Dating these artifacts and the bones has also provided crucial information. Carbon-14 dating techniques have been used to determine the age of these finds. The result? The battle took place around 1250 BC, a time in history when the Bronze Age was in full swing. This was a time of significant technological advancements, yet the violence and brutality of war remained a constant. The distribution of the bone fragments and weapons also gives a horrifying glimpse into the scale of the battle. They were scattered along a stretch of nearly 2 kilometers on the west side of the river, painting a vivid picture of a battlefield that extended far and wide, with clashes likely occurring in multiple locations simultaneously. Through these findings, researchers have been able to shed light on a brutal chapter of the Bronze Age, changing our perception of this era forever. What does this discovery mean for our understanding of the past? This question takes us back to the beginning, to the shocking unearthing of skeletal remains in a river valley in northern Germany. These bones, bearing witness to a brutal battle, have transformed our understanding of the Bronze Age, particularly in northern Europe. Once thought of as a peaceful period of trade, it is now seen as a time where violence and large-scale organized combat were possible. The significance of this find cannot be overstated. It challenges long-held beliefs and opens new avenues of exploration and understanding. As we continue to dig into our past, we uncover more hidden tales that challenge our understanding of human history. This ancient battlefield is a testament to that, forever reminding us of the brutal realities of our ancestors' lives.